Yes, exactly. Let's take like 5 deep breaths. You can make a little sound on the exhalation. Relaxing the jaw. Relaxing the face. Allowing ourselves to arrive. You know, with some of us have busy days, rushing, stuff at work. So it's a little static. That's normal. So I recommend at the beginning to simply watch the movement of the air, watch the movement of the diaphragm, watch this cosmic process of breathing. Allowing the breathing to be normal, whatever, unforced. And using the breath as a, focusing on this breath for a few minutes as an anchor into the present. It's natural if there are images, inner voices from the day, or notice them, but don't get involved with them. Let them be like birds crossing the sky and follow them, which is hard. You will often catch yourself in daydreaming. Whenever you notice that, you can unhook and come back to being aware of the body breathing. And allowing ourselves to just be, nothing to figure out. All the stuff we need to do can wait. Some of us, including myself, would believe or used to think that the idea is to not have thoughts, to be like no thought. And we try to stop them from arising or something. That's not skillful practice, and it's very stressful, and it can never be accomplished. The idea is not to have a quiet mind or to be calm. The idea is to contemplate the arising of thought and contemplate how they vanish. So there is to watch whatever, quiet mind or busy mind. The point is to just watch the mind. And the purpose of this focusing on the breath at the beginning is because most of us have a very busy mind. So it's hard to witness it. But if we focus on the breath for a few minutes at the beginning, put the attention on something steady, generally slows down a bit. Also, we get more aware of the body, the inner body. As the mind gets a little bit more quiet, we can take attention off breath and simply be present and gently notice the totality of the now. And in the now, don't believe me, but you can check for yourself. There's all these phenomena popping up, ever changing. There's the thoughts we talked about, which are be a sound in the head, voices, or a picture. But just part of our experience is the mental watching thoughts without getting lost in them. But there is the area of the body. So we include the body. Can notice just neutral functional sensation in the body, like the sensations of the contact with the chair. The sensation of contact with the floor. Even the hands touching or then there are other type of sensations which are connected to our emotional body, to feelings, emotions, which are more from neck down to the belt, the waist, the chest, belly, and throat. Gently noticing the inner body. Noticing any sensation, any currents of energy or knots or contraction or agitation or butterflies, or sometimes we can have an actual feeling, like sad or afraid. There are whole traditions where they focus on that, scanning the body, sensations, feelings. Eckhart Tolle talks about this the inner body awareness, noticing the inner body. The idea with this realm of the inner body is to notice and to allow them. Allow them to do whatever they want. And not to analyze them. Not to classify them. Not to call them something. And very important that to not try to change anything about it. Not try to get rid of any energy. Allowing these inner body energies to unfold spontaneously as they do, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. This is called welcoming. Fully welcome whatever we got. Which is very unusual because our parents and ancestors and all our life, we've been very busy trying to change unpleasant feelings and hold them down. We have resistance. A lot of spiritual practices and activities are coming because I don't like what I feel and I want to change it. And this is resistance to the now. If you want to change some tension or some feeling, it was not going to work. It's going to make it harder. It's going to keep coming back. So whatever is in the body, welcome it completely. For many of us, this is pretty abstract. Some of us, that the body feels like numb, there's nothing, and I have lots of thoughts and I'm checked out all the time. Notice that, come back to the present. Is any unpleasantness in the chest or anywhere else? Treat it as if it's like a child that is in the forest and is like hungry and starving and comes home. You don't want to shut it away. You welcome it, like, okay, welcome. Do whatever you need. Also, in this welcoming of the inner body, sometimes we have something distinct and we tend to focus there with the secret agenda to make it go away. So see if you can, we don't need to focus into it. You can open the attention. We can still notice tensions, notice things, but not focusing into them. As if we are watching a large vista, big mountain, not focusing on one thing, global, panoramic, noticing. So notice that whatever energy you have, or localized energy or tension, or notice the space around it. Meaning that it's like the sensation is like a cloud free floating in the sky. Notice the sky. So I mentioned before to be present to the totality of our experience. I started with breath, then noticing arising and passing of thoughts. And I talked about the inner body, I took it more like sector by sector so we get familiar with these sectors. There's one more. There's the so-called world, the world, the external sense perceptions. So being now, notice the experience of the world as it appears to awareness with the eyes closed. Sounds, this voice. So notice now sounds in the room, in your environment. Without analyzing, interpreting, imagine as if you are an alien creature who took over this body, but they've never been here. And it's like this hearing is like, whoa. Or as a baby, free from interpretation. Notice that we don't need thoughts in order to hear. Hearing is happening by itself. You don't have a choice to hear me or not hear this voice. It's just you can even make a vow not to hear, and then you hear. Because there is this onness, there's this, whatever this is, which perceives. Hearing can be also a portal to staying in the present more rather than being lost in past or future. The fourth way we're using is engaging the senses, like listening, staying present like a cat. If animals were so checked out like us, man, they would be dead. So there are these three realms, these three levels of input, data coming in. Thoughts, images in the mind, sensations, feelings in the body, sounds or visuals. So when I say being present to the totality of our experience, watching it, it's to notice these three realms at the same time. I took us sector by sector, just pedagogically. But let's try now for the last few minutes, freestyle, being present to thoughts, sensation, and sounds. Whenever you catch yourself in the past or the future, which is very likely, don't think that, oh man, what's wrong with me? That's how it is. Come back. So there's ongoing flow, ever changing in a sound, sensation. It's what Buddha called impermanence. Everything changes. There's something else here besides thoughts, feelings, sounds, sensation. Something that without which we wouldn't be able to notice sounds or thoughts. There's that which is aware right now. So notice the sense of this effortlessly perceiving. Different traditions, they talk about notice the I am. Though this I am in some words, it points to something. Notice the sense of isness in Zen. Be aware of the isness. Sensing our own presence. The tricky part is that this, whatever it is which is aware right now, doesn't have a shape, doesn't have a color, so it's invisible. So it's a little tricky to be aware of the invisible man, because we are so used to focusing on stuff, a feeling, a sound. So this pointer, like notice the sense of presence or noticing awareness itself, it's tricky because we can't pinpoint it. That's the bad news. The good news is that we are it. We are this so-called presence. It's what we are. It's that which is on in the morning before thoughts come in. It's that which is aware of dreams in the night. It's a little bit tricky, like if you are looking in the room, we see easily objects, but we don't notice the space. Although there's much more space. So the same way inside, the thoughts, the feelings, they appear onto something and they disappear back onto something. And this aware, awake something is always overlooked. For the last couple of minutes, do nothing. Let ourselves just be, rest in the now. Even let go of this trying to meditate or something. Notice, if you remember how it was at the beginning, your body or your mind, just notice what's the current forecast, the current situation now. Whatever energies you had at the beginning, how is it now? Although we have done nothing to try to alter, we tried very hard to do nothing. But just allow and stay present. Now, if you can allow this presence that we are to open gradually, just a little bit, the eyelids, not focusing, just opening this channel which was closed, these visuals. Colors, shapes. Don't focus into anything, more like notice the space. Also, for many of us, we compartmentalize this being present and the eyes closed. And when the eyes open, we tend to lose awareness of the inner body or of the thoughts. Yeah, so open your eyes and just allow images to come in awareness, but stay also present to the inner body, aware of the inner and the outer. That's really useful to, let's say, practice this during the day when there's a free moment, walking, driving, being in line. Instead of pulling the phone or, we are uncomfortable with space and nothing. But to just be like a cat, like a human cat. And just be aware of the inner world, outer world, staying in the now.